Morning, you guys. I just want to come in and talk about narcotics and assisted living facilities and your role as the Medtech and making sure that you are always in compliance with meds and all the things, okay? So if you're a Medtech or interested in becoming a Medtech or working in the field and just want some refreshers about, what you should and shouldn't be doing with narcotics, just stay tuned, okay? I'm Erica. I am the owner of Love Range Medical Training Center in Gainesville, Florida. I'm a registered nurse, and I do a lot of education, try to help people, in the community and online, trying to, give you information and, just kind of share knowledge, right, to help you be more successful in your roles as whatever role. Like I also teach medical assistant, phlebotomy, CNA prep, Medtech in the group home setting, and also Medtech in assisted living settings, okay? I've been in the field. I worked as a director in assisted living, so I know all the roles. I've worked as a CNA, all the things, so wide range of experience. So I would say I'm definitely somebody that can give you some advice on how to be able to, work with narcotics and mostly just some tips and tricks about narcotics and making sure you stay safe and that, when you're working with narcotics, okay? So let's talk about it. So it's Monday here. I'm working on a few things here, but I want to come in really quick and talk about narcotics and medtechs. Okay, so as a medtech, you are allowed to, assist with medication administration, including narcotics. Okay, so narcotics is controlled substances. Okay. So, controlled substances are regulated by the federal government, the DEA, and all the people that be, okay? So, it's a pretty big deal if you're helping with medications, especially narcotics, okay? So, we want to make sure that we are always safe and making sure that when we're dealing with narcotics, that we're always making sure we're paying attention, that we're always, counting them. That is the most important, counting and documentation. I would say two of the biggest things you should be concerned with is documentation of narcotics and counting of narcotics. And keeping up with your keys to make sure they are secure, okay? I mentioned in my last video about a little bit about narcotics and the fact that you need to be able to have your keys in your possession at all times, okay? Sometimes when we're running around in our day as a med tech or a nurse, whatever role we're in, that we happen with meds, that we are on the go. Sometimes an emergency could happen and we drop our keys. So I always advise people to get them a lanyard that goes around their neck that can hold onto their keys. I still make this a habit, even as in my own business. I always have my keys around my neck just because I want to make sure I'm in possession of them. Just a little side story. One time as I was a CNA at a nursing home here in Gainesville, and I had my car keys in my pocket, and I laid them on the nurse's station because I was going to take care of a patient. Somebody took my keys off my desk. They knew, so we used to get paid. That's how long I've been doing this. We used to get paid. So I had laid my keys on the desk, and I went to take care of my patient, and somebody took my keys off the desk because I was going to save that before it dropped. Was that we used to get paid by check, so we would go cash our check on our break. So everybody knew payday was on this day, so we all would go cash our check on our break and put our money. So I would normally put my check in my trunk of my car, and if anybody could watch your habits, they would quickly know that you do that every payday. So that's what happened. I went and cashed my check on my break, took my check, put my purse in my trunk. So the person who took my keys knew I laid my keys on the desk and went home while I was in the building doing my work. They took the keys and went to my trunk and took the money out, my entire paycheck out of my trunk of my car. So I say that to say you also want to keep up with your own car keys, okay? Just because that's why all your keys should really be in one location, because you just never know what somebody's capable of, okay? So it's just important to always have your keys in your possession, but more so if you're going to be a med tech and assisting with medications, when you lay these keys down, anybody could get access to them, and they could go and get your meds out of your cart. Understand that everybody can't, we want to trust everybody and hope that everybody's going to do the right thing, but you just never know. So you want to always tip one is keep your keys in your possession. So what I tell people is that, I know sometimes when we're doing care, our keys seem to get in our way. And so that's some of the reasons why we take our keys off our neck. But I was a CNA. I did all the things. I worked as a med tech. I filled in on the floor as a med tech when I was a director. I was that director that would fill in on the floor when they were short staffed. Not everybody do that. But when I had to do that, I had to know how to be able to maneuver. So part of what I tell people is this: when you are getting ready to take care of your patients, just put your keys in your shirt. And I'm ready to go help transfer a patient from the bed to the chair or whatever I need to do. These keys were not in my way. There is no reason these keys need to come off my neck until my shift ends for the day. Okay, if they don't provide a lanyard at your job, then get your own, and then that way you can just count. When you're ready to count, you give the keys to them, and you just keep your lanyard on your neck. Okay, I'm just saying this is a good tool. It's only a couple of dollars to grab you one and put it on your neck, and that way you never have to worry. Because I did mention in the last video that sometimes the director of nursing or the resident care director or whatever her title is in the role in assisted living is, they will come around and see your keys laying down, and they will take those keys from you. Hold on a second. So they will come take your keys to try to teach you a lesson, and you're looking for your keys. You don't even know they already took your keys, and you're looking for them everywhere, looking crazy, because technically that's grounds for termination at that point. If you lose your keys while you're supposed to be in possession of narcotics, that is grounds for termination. Okay, most times the director will give you a chance and try to teach you a lesson or two, but you will be up. Listen, if you do it too many times, you will lose your job, because they have to, because you are now unsafe with narcotics. Okay, it's super important that you don't allow your keys to be out of your possession. Okay, first tip. Okay, number 2 is counting narcotics. Every time you are coming on shift or going off shift, it is state of Florida requirement that you count, and I am talking about Medtech in state of Florida. It should be universal as far as counting narcs. I don't in any state, honestly, but I am in Florida, so I'm referring to the Florida rules. Okay, so you're supposed to count those narcotics every time you come on shift and every time you come off shift. Okay, if you are passing your keys to somebody and you are the one in possession of those keys, when those people walk in there, the state or anybody or the director say, I want to count your car, and your count is incorrect, that is all on you. If you took possession of those keys without counting, that is all on you, okay? And you will be held accountable. They're going to probably drug test everybody, all the things, but you probably will be out of a job if they can't account for why your narcotic count is off, okay? So nobody comes to work to want to lose their job. So I'm going to tell you, you need to be aware that you have to count your car, because what I can tell you is what I know. And as a director, when I was in that role, I would see people just say, hey, here the keys, the count's correct, and then they go on about their day. Okay, quick story. I filled in at a facility locally here in town, at a place outside of Gainesville, and I went in, and the nurse, I get ready to count the cart with the nurse. The nurse, when I got in, the nurse cart was a hot mess. So clearly I knew she was unorganized and didn't have her stuff together, because it's time for my shift change and her cart is a mess. She wanted me to hurry up and count with her, and I told her, no, you need to clean up your cart, get your stuff together, and then when you're ready, we'll do the count. But I go in and count, and immediately there's a number of mistakes. I quickly stop and say, I need you guys to get this correct, and then I will count when this count is in better shape, because clearly when I got in there, the first couple cars was already a miscount. That nurse started crying in the middle. Right then, the nurse started crying. I'm like, what is going on? And she was upset because she took the keys from the night nurse. These are nurses, so I'm telling you, as Medtech, be better, okay? Because nurses know better. But she had took the keys from the night nurse who left early from their shift and did not count the car. And now I'm here, and now I got to come into why is all these narcs missing. So we had to go get the supervisor and everything. So just don't hand your keys to somebody without counting them. I don't care if we know each other, we hung out all night before, we think we're cool like that. Do not. Listen, it's not that everybody's using drugs. Sometimes people just make mistakes because we're human beings. So just understand that you need to count, because what happens is, and the reason why to count, let me just tell you clearly, there should never, hold on, put up this. There should never ever be a miscount. And let me tell you why. The reason why narcotics are not counted correctly, the reason why there will ever be a miscount is because somebody didn't do what they were supposed to. Every time you pull a narcotic, you are supposed to sign for it. You know why there's a miscount? Because you pulled it and you did not sign. You was probably in a hurry doing whatever you were doing, and you're like, I'll come back and sign. And what you're going to do is forget, okay? So I need you to not ever go give a narcotic without without signing it out as you're doing it. Do not go and pull that narc and not sign for it first, okay? I'm going to show you a control sheet here in a second, okay? But I just need you to be understanding that that's why there's a miscount. If you ever had a miscount on your narcs, that's because you did not sign it as you gave it. And I'm telling you now, you're going to forget to sign. And then those people are going to walk in on you one of those times, and that narc count is going to be off, and you're going to forget that you didn't sign it, okay? Do not do that, okay? That's tip number 2. Sign out your narcotics when you give it, okay? Period. It's not up for discussion. Okay. Now, so making sure you count it out. When you're doing the count with the person going on and off, I've seen this too many times that I am the person going off shift, and the person coming in shift is at the cart counting by themselves. I'm just saying, if you know, you know. Y'all know. So the person is up there counting their own narcs. Other person somewhere running around doing whatever. They don't get you the keys. The keys is laying there and you counting by yourself. So what it should be look like is that the person who's counting, the person who's coming in on that shift, should be in the box with the narcs. Those cards that are there, you should be physically looking at those cards. You, the person coming on shift, should be looking at the cards. The person that is going off from you should be next to you with the count. And this is a narc sheet. They should be here. You should be there. And they should be telling you 21. You should verify there's 21. 19 on the next paper, and you should say yes. Don't tell them how many. You let them tell you how many, because they could be lying to you and they know they took a couple. So you need to be aware that not everybody's honest, okay? So if you're in the box, don't you tell them how many you got. You let them tell you there's 10. I will say 10. You're going to say yes. There's 9. You will say yes. There's 8. You will say yes. If there's not 8, you're going to say right then stop, because there's something's wrong. There's a discrepancy. So that's what I need you to do. And I need you to do it next to the person, because you should be able to see your box and see this narc sheet at the same time. So if you're somewhere else sitting down counting, somebody else is over, if the book is somewhere else and they're not standing next to you, you cannot see what is on that sheet. And if I'm clever and smart, and I'm telling you, people who have drug habits are very smart, and they know how to subtract those numbers ahead of time. So when I'm telling you there's 10 and there's really only 8, okay, I can subtract it in my head. So I need you to not ever count without the person standing next. Okay, so this is a controlled medication count sheet here, okay? And I want you to get familiar with it, because the resident's name, the medication is there, the resident's name, and now this is an APD one, but they all look the same for the most part. The date, the time, the name of the person, that would be me if I was given it. The number on hand, that'll be how many I have when I count it. So when I got on shift, if there was 20, that would be the number on hand. I'm about to give one, because the patient said, I got a headache, I need something for pain. I'm going to subtract, I'm going to give one. So how many did I give? 1, or did I give 2? And then now I'm going to leave the number remaining. So there was 10 when I started, I gave 1, there's now 9 here. This box over here is for when you guys are verifying the count. You are the staff on, staff off, and then the date and time. You're saying, yes, this count is correct. Okay, that is what the control sheet looks like. You will sign at the bottom at least once a month on there, or at least once, so they know that you're who you are or whatever. But that is what the control sheet looks like, and you will have one per. So I want you to know there'll be one sheet per medication card per resident too, okay? So each resident will have their own sheet. But I want you to know that the medication will be here, the individuals, the name of the medication, the dosage, because understand, sometime when they send, you may have to fill one of these out. So I want you to be familiar with the name of the medication will go here, the dosage will go here, the route, all the stuff. Who received it, because if that was you that brought it in, you need to put your initials there, and you need to put down like if it's scheduled every day, or is it as needed? So you just got to be very clear and thorough and making sure you fill this all the way out, because on occasion you will be the one that had to fill this out, okay? And then that is what the narc sheet looks like. Now let me talk to you about a couple more things. Okay, so each narc sheet, so say they send you a 90-day supply of narcotics, right? And it may say 1 of 3 or 2 of 3. Each card of narcs has to have their own narcotic sheet. Okay, just keep in mind that it has to be 1 sheet per card. Keep that in mind, because we don't want to have 1 of 30. It could mess up the count. Okay, so final thing I'm going to talk about in this video, because this is going a little bit long, but I want to be very thorough with you guys as far as narcotics, because narcotics is a big deal. When you're taking narcotics into the count, okay, when you're bringing narcotics into the count, say the pharmacy delivery guy brought the meds to your facility, and so what I do find is that a lot of times that people are throwing the bag of meds on the, say, especially if you work nights or whatever, you'll throw the bag of meds on the counter and then you'll count them later. Just understand that the people who deliver those meds are not pharmacists. They are actually paid drivers, so they're going to come in and tell you to sign, and then you're not going to verify that count real quick like you're supposed to, and then the narcs could be missing and you're not ready. You won't even know until that morning, okay? So keep in mind that you need to be counting narcs every time it's brought into your possession, okay? Again, if it's the supervisor bringing it in, if anybody is handing you a card of narcotics, you need to make sure you verify the count, okay? I think we clear on that, okay? Making sure that we never ever not sign those meds out as we give them, right? And all the things. One more thing I want to tell you: narcotics. So if the doctor decides to discontinue the narcotics, say the doctor says we don't know they're going to discontinue oxycodone, I need you to know that narcotics has to stay in the count. Yes, you're going to discontinue it on the actual MAR if you're the one that does the discontinuing of the orders, or if it's the nurse or whoever does it. But sometimes it could be somebody that's appointed to do certain orders. Whatever it is, if that med has been discontinued, I need you to don't go ahead. It has to be discontinued on the MAR, but it has to stay in the count until the director or whoever takes possession, whoever your supervisor is, come and take those meds from you. Make sure it's your supervisor or somebody, right? Because you never know. And make sure that they count it out from you, and that you give them, you count it with them, and then you give them the card and the sheet out of your book. But I need you to keep that in. Sorry, guys. I need you to keep that narcotic in the count. Okay. Yes, so that's a lot of information. I'm going to stop it there. I'm trying to do videos that help Medtechs. I'm trying to do a special edition of just Medtech training stuff, because I don't see a lot of videos about Medtechs, and I get a lot of calls about Medtechs and what a Medtech is and all the things in their roles. So I've posted a few videos about those, about a Medtech and those roles. Certified medication technician. Okay, now understand there is a Medtech role that is a degree program. I'm talking about the 6-hour approved state of Florida training through Elder Affairs, assist with self-administration of meds course. This is a 6-hour course to become a Medtech, and you're able to work in assisted living facilities. Okay, so hopefully this video has been helpful. I do, like I said, I am posting videos all the time. Even for my other courses, CNA, medical assistant, all the things. But I just want to help educate you on how to be safe and how to not make mistakes, and how to know your scope of practice, right? Because sometimes we are put in positions that we shouldn't be put in, and I want to make sure you know what you are. So I just want to make sure you know what you can and can't do. So yeah, this video has been helpful. If there's any questions, please list them below. I'm an open book. I like helping folks and all the things. So just stay tuned. If you're not following me, because I'm dropping all kind of gems and helpful tips and tricks that help you be successful in your role. So you take care. Talk to you soon.